What's up? How y'all doing? This is another episode of Notable Prisons and the Inmates that occupy them. I'm gonna need y'all to do something. Go and get them lighters ready, because we might see if someone's gonna get smoked in this episode. So, for those of y'all that didn't know, there's a federal prison in LA, and it's called Terminal Island. So we're gonna take a trip back west, and we're gonna talk about this Terminal Island. So, anyways, also give me some feedback in them comments. Let me know where y'all watching from, and feel free to smack that subscribe button and like button. Helps with the algorithm. Okay, so anyways, Terminal Island, it's a low security federal prison in LA County. It's operated by the Feds, a division of the United States Department of Justice. FCI Terminal Island is located at the entrance to the Los Angeles Harbor between San Pedro and Long Beach. You know what I'm saying? Probably not. But anyways, I'll give you all a little brief history. The prison was opened at the southern end of Terminal Island, adjacent to the Coast Guard base on June 1st, 1938. That's like 60 years before I was born. With 610 male and 40 female prisoners. It consisted of a central quadrangle, okay, I can't pronounce it, surrounded by 3 cell blocks, and cost $2 million to construct. Back in 42, the U.S. Navy took control of the prison and was used it for a receiving station and later as a barracks for court-martial prisoners. The facility was deactivated by the Navy in 1950 and later turned to the state of California for use as a medical and psychiatric institution. The state returned control to the U.S. Bureau of Prisons in 1955 for a conversion into a low to medium security federal prison. The prison was a mixed sex with female prisoners housed separately, of course, until 1977 when overcrowding led to the transfer of the women federal prison to Dublin, California. The prison was given increased barbed wire and armed guards in the early 1980s in an effort to dispel the facility's club-fed image. A corruption scandal rocked the prison in the early 1980s, resulting in an indictment of 6 employees charged for bribes, cover-ups, big boy marijuana sales, shout out to the trappers, to the inmates, and other corruption. Those indicated include Charles Desorty, the prison's chief investigator of crimes, the highest-ranking federal prison official ever to be indicted. See, even he couldn't turn his eye on making some quick, fast cash. He was trapping, y'all. He was trapping. And yeah, so that's pretty much it for the history. This is not a history class, people, but time to get to some of these inmates, and some of these people you guys have definitely heard of. First up, we have Q-I-A-N, Keen, X-U-E-S-E-N, Keen Zuzan. He was a Chinese-born rocket scientist. He was arrested in 1950 and he was held for 2 weeks at Terminal Island, but he was released under government supervision and left the U.S. in 1955 for China, when he made important contributions to the Chinese nuclear missile and space programs. Look at him, young smart fella. Next up, we have Liz Renee, girlfriend to Los Angeles mob kingpin Mickey Cohen. I know y'all have heard of him. And she was convicted of perjury in 1959 and served 27 months at Terminal Island. You know how many years 27 months is? 12, 24. 2 years and 3 months. And she was held at FCI Terminal Island from 1959 to 1961 on that perjury charge. Next up, we have Salvatore Bonanno. He's one of the Mafia guys. He was the concierge for the Bonanno crime family in New York City in the 1960s, and he was the son of the former mob boss, Joseph Bonanno. He was held at FCI Terminal Island from 1968 to 72 on credit card fraud conviction. Oh, he was scamming, trying to run the bag up. Okay, scam god. Next up, we have Edward Bunker. So he's a crime fiction writer, screenwriter, and actor, and he wrote No Beast, So Fierce while incarcerated at FCI Terminal Island, which was adapted into the movie Straight Time, starring Dustin Hoffman. Later appeared in several movies, including Reservoir Dogs. How many of y'all like the movie Reservoir Dogs? I thought it was cool. What's y'all's favorite part in that movie? But anyways, he was held at FCI Terminal Island from 1973 to 1975. So he did a couple years there. Next up, probably perhaps one of the most known gangsters in all of American history. Can y'all guess who it is before I pop the picture up? Well, the picture already popped up, so it doesn't matter. But anyways, Al Capone. He was the leader of the crime syndicate known as the Chicago Outfit, which smuggled and bootlegged liquor in the Prohibition era in the 1920s, and he was convicted of tax evasion. In 1931, he was running up a serious bag selling liquor, especially if he had some people like in the Appalachian Mountains make a moonshine for him. Oh, man, that's all money in. You know what I'm saying? But he was held at FCI Terminal Island just for a year, from 1939 to 1940. Next, we have Henry Hill. He's a former associate of the Lucchese crime family in New York City, portrayed by Ray Liotta in the 1990 film Goodfellas. Man, what y'all know about Goodfellas? That's like a cinema classic right there. And I didn't spark this lighter because he got smoked. I just sparked this lighter because, I'm trying to get my mind right. But he was held at FCI Terminal Island in the 1970s. Next up, we have Timothy Leary. He was a Harvard professor and LSD girl. He was all about getting trippy. And he was convicted in 1970 of a prior prison escape and marijuana possession. So it sounds to me like he was a trapper too. And he was held at FCI Terminal Island in 1974. And yeah, shout out to Timothy Leary. Next, we have Charles Manson. I couldn't tell you how many times I've done these episodes and this dude's name popped up. Like, he had a crazy tour of the California prison system. Like, dude's been a little bit of everywhere. But yeah, so he served he served his life sentence for murder at Corcoran, and it would later inspire the Helter Skelter in murdering Sharon Tate and others in 1969, and he died in 2017. But he was held at Terminal Island, though, for car theft and check fraud. So that happened, and then he got out, and then he did the Helter Skelter shit, and that's what led to his last long vacation in, Corcoran. Next up, we have Anita O'day. She was an acclaimed jazz singer during the swing era in the 1930s and 1940s. Isn't that like the roaring 30s, or is it the roaring 20s, or roaring 40s? Someone let me know in the comments. But she was held at FCI Terminal Island in 1954 on a conviction of heroin possession. Oh, man, she was out there breaking down that dog food, huh? Next up, we have Mike Rizzatello. He is a caporal regime in the Los Angeles crime family from 1977 through 1999. I never knew that they had mafia type organizations in Los Angeles. This is new to me. But he was held at FCI Terminal Island for 9 months in 1987 for violating his parole for associating with organized crime affiliates. Next up, we have Rosario Gambino. Can y'all guess what crime family he was from? Go ahead and take a guess. He is a soldier of the Cherry Hill Gambinos, a crew in the Gambino crime family. He was held at FCI Terminal Island to serve a 45-year sentence for selling heroin to an undercover police officer in 1984. Sheesh. They definitely cooked his ass on that sentence. 45 years. There's people on this list that does crazy crimes with like children and stuff like that don't even get 45 years. I think that's kind of messed up. I think that's messed up. Next, we have it's what's called the Port Chicago 50. And basically what the Port Chicago 50 was, it was 50 African-American sailors convicted of mutiny for refusing to load ammunition onto the U.S. Navy ship under unsafe conditions. After the Port Chicago disaster, an explosion that killed 320 people, including 202 black sailors. I mean, hell, I don't blame them. I mean, man, my life is more than that. I mean, they only did a couple years in 1944 to 1946, but damn, I mean, hell, they was thinking ahead. I mean, you know. Next, we have Flora Purim. Was a Brazilian jazz singer at height of their career during the mid 1970s, convicted of cocaine possession in 1975. And they were held in Terminal Island in 1976. Next we have Oesley Stanley, another famous LSD chemist, counterculture figure, and Grateful Dead's sound engineer, sent to Terminal Island after a judge revoked an earlier release because of second drug bust. He was held at FCI Terminal Island from 1970 to 1972. Next up. Oh, this list ain't done, people. This list ain't done. Get comfortable. We got some more names to go over. Next, we have Mouli Cohen, internet music entrepreneur, convicted in 2011 of wire fraud, money laundering, and tax evasion for defrauding celebrities, investors, and charities dedicated to help the poor of more than 31 million. The story was featured on American Greed. Yeah, they chipped him off. They gave his ass 22 years, but he will be released in 2029. So he got about a good, it's 2022, another 7 piece left. So maybe he'll get out and write a book or something and give the details of how he did it. Next up, we have Eric Mcdavid. He was a member of the eco-terrorist group Earth Liberation Front, convicted in 2007, conspiring to destroy a Northern California dam, a genetics lab, cell phone towers, and other targets. Yo, he was trying to destroy a dam, so he was really just trying to just like flood some people like a just tidal wave on some one of those movies, you know, like, you know, those world-ending movies with the big ass waves. But he was released in 2015 after serving 10 years. Hopefully no dams go down. Next we have Anthony L. Gindy. He was a former stockbroker convicted in 2006 of racketeering, conspiracy, securities fraud, wire fraud, extortion for using information supplied by a corrupt FBI agent to spread negative publicity about companies through his website. Damn, so he was really on some exposing shit. But he was released in 2013 after serving 8 years. Next we have Brian Odea. Major drug trafficker in Canada, and the author of the book High Confessions of a Pot Smuggler. Oh, look at him. He was playing with the packs way back when. Look at this guy here. Never mind. He was transferred to a Canadian prison in '92 after serving 1 year. So that's good. He didn't get a whole lot of time for dealing with a plant. Shout out to dude, Brian Odea. Next we have Anthony Parnes. He was a British stockbroker who committed a multi-million dollar fraud against the Guinness Liquor Company, known as the Guinness Affair. Okay, let me just put this out there. Unpopular opinion. I don't think Guinness beer is all that great. I don't know. Maybe I don't have the acquired taste to it, but I'm not a fan of Guinness. Any of y'all drink Guinness? But he was held at FCI Terminal Island from 1987 until his extradition to Great Britain back in 1988, the year I was born. So he's been gone for 34 years. Next we have Michael Recon Skudo. He was a computer expert, convicted in 1992 of conspiring to produce and distribute methamphetamine. No, for conspiracy to produce and distribute methamphetamine. See, he was on his Walter White vibes before Walter White existed. And he was released in 2017. He served 26 years. Good grief. I wonder how much he was making to serve that long of a sentence. Next we have Robert Gilbeau. He was the first active duty admiral ever to be convicted of a felony. He lied to investigators about a relationship with Fat Leonard Glenn Franzis and pocketed $40,000 in kickbacks. And he only served a year in prison. So, you know, he probably got out and got back to that $40,000 and, you know, started living his life. Maybe bought a boat or something, you know, telling. Next up we have John Peter Galanis. He was a notorious American financial crime fraudster, and he was sentenced for defrauding a Native American tribal entity and various investment advisory clients for tens of millions of dollars in a fraudulent and deceptive bond scam. And he is serving a 10-year sentence, and he is scheduled for release in 2027. Next up, Chad Andrew Carter. He's charged in the 2020 for, you know, I was just about to sit here and just say, you know, this is a lit list. There's no people here with no scummy charges. But let me just say, man, get them lighters ready. This dude was charged in 2020 for child pornography in a Zoom meeting. Huh? What? And he's serving a 42-month sentence. He actually gets out in 2 years. Oh, man. They're lucky they didn't smoke his ass. But he still falls under that scummy category, people. Yes, he does. Oh, scummy ass individual. That he is. Chad Andrew Carter. Next up, we got the OG man who really just all the way turned his life around, who is a very big YouTube personality. I actually love watching his content. Shout out to Michael Franzis. He was the former New York mobster and Capro regime of the Colombo crime family and the son of Sonny Franzis. And basically what he did was he was running like a gas station scheme where he pretty much would get like so many cents of every dollar spent on gas. And he had like multiple gas stations, and word on the street is that there's like 12 million that they didn't find. So of course Vlad and all the other interviews, they tend to ask him like, hey, what'd you do with the money? And you know, him keeping it player, he's gonna say, I don't know, I never had it. But hey, I'll say this, if you know, you know. I mean, I don't know, but I do know, if trust me, if I had 12 million, I'd find a way to hide that shit. I don't give a damn if I had to put it in a box encased in concrete, like at the foot of a tree somewhere or something. Like, I'm coming back to that one way or another. Put it inside a wall of a house or something. But yeah, he only served 10 years for racketeering, and he was released in '94, and he's been like a reborn Christian, and you know, doing all that other good stuff. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for the Federal Correctional Institutional Terminal Island. Give me some feedback in the comments. Let me know something, and yeah, we're gonna keep it going. I appreciate y'all for watching. Hey.